How to analyze power, skill versus team opportunities. Imagine watching a game and wondering if a player's home runs are just because they hit the ball hard, or if they're actually taking advantage of chances created by their team. That's what analyzing power, skill versus team opportunities is all about. It's about understanding whether a player's ability to hit for power really translates into run production, or if they're just benefiting from having more chances to drive in runs. Start by looking at foundational batting metrics like slugging percentage, which measures how often a player hits for extra bases, and isolated power, which compares extra base hits to singles. These stats show a player's raw power ability. But just knowing how many home runs or doubles they hit doesn't tell the full story. You need to see how often they actually get to drive in runs, which depends on the number of runners on base when they come to bat. That's where runs batted in, or RBIs, come into play. However, RBIs are heavily influenced by team context. If a player hits a home run with nobody on base, it's not counted as an RBI, but it still shows power. To truly understand the impact of power, you need to adjust for team opportunities. For example, a player with high slugging percentage and many home runs but few RBIs might be hitting in a team that doesn't get many players on base ahead of them. On the other hand, a player with moderate power but consistently high RBIs might be benefiting from a lineup that creates more scoring chances. Advanced metrics like weighted runs created plus help here because they account for park effects and lineup position, giving a clearer picture of a player's true contribution. Next, look at situational stats like performance with runners in scoring position. If a player hits well with runners on base, it shows they're good at capitalizing on team opportunities. Comparing players across different teams and eras also helps because some teams naturally create more chances than others. In practical terms, a player with exceptional power but fewer RBI chances can still be very valuable because they change games with home runs and extra base hits. Conversely, a player with less raw power but more opportunities to drive in runs might produce impressive totals because of their team's offensive environment. So, to analyze power, skill versus team opportunities, combine traditional power metrics with context-aware stats. This way, you can see if a player's power is truly translating into run production, or if they're just benefiting from their team's offensive setup. It's about understanding both individual ability and the environment they play in, giving a complete picture of their impact.